A judge has struck down Georgia's restrictive anti-abortion law. Fulton County Judge Robert McBurney ruled on Monday that Georgia's 6-week heartbeat ban is unconstitutional and cannot be enforced. So now this is a result of a 2022 lawsuit which asserted that Georgia's abortion ban violates the Georgia Constitution's right to privacy statutes, which happen to be more robust than and independent of the U.S. Constitution. So very important, right? Because that's what Roe was based on, was the right of privacy. And it turns out Georgia's right of privacy a little bit stronger. So now, in his 26-page ruling, McBurney found that a review of our higher court's interpretations of liberty demonstrates that liberty in Georgia includes in its meaning, in its protections, and in its bundle of rights the power of a woman to control her own body, to decide what happens to it and in it, and to reject state interference with her healthcare choices. So, freedom and liberty won. And, state control of a woman's body? Well, I wouldn't say zero, because there's plenty of states where the state, unfortunately, has control of a woman's body. But not in Georgia, apparently now. Now, he added that society can only intervene in a person's pregnancy when the fetus reaches the point of viability, which is generally understood to be somewhere between 22 and 24 weeks. So a 6-week abortion ban based on a non-existent heart, because that's what it is. It's not actually detecting a heartbeat. It's detecting electrical signals from a proto-heart. That's tissue that will eventually form a heart, but at 6 weeks doesn't actually exist. There is no heartbeat. Now, that said, he writes, while the state's interest in protecting unborn life is compelling, until that life can be sustained by the state, and not solely by the woman compelled by the act to do the state's work, the balance of rights favors the woman. See, I like this. This is a conservative approach, right? Because, hey, we're talking about freedom, right? We're talking about bodily autonomy. Why is the state getting involved in this? Why is the state trying to compel a woman to do something that she obviously doesn't want to do? I mean, that is a conservative argument if only pro-life people were actually conservative and believed in freedom. Because apparently they don't. Now, as a result of this ruling, Georgia must revert to a law prior to the 2022 passage of the heartbeat law, which would permit abortion up until 22 weeks. So it's within the window of viability. And that's fair. Now, McBurney also wrote, women are not some piece of collectively owned community property, the disposition of which is decided by majority vote. Again, I love how conservative coded this is. Because, well, what is this, socialism? No, well, women are not a piece of property owned by the entire community. No, they're people. They get to decide what they do with their own bodies. You know why? Because I believe in freedom. Hell yeah. That's, again, that argument, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Forcing a woman to carry an unwanted, not yet viable fetus to term violates her constitutional rights to liberty and privacy, even taking into consideration whatever bundle of rights the not yet viable fetus may have. You can tell I love this ruling because it's hard to argue against it, right? It's just too bad that it wasn't in time to save the life of 2 women in Georgia who died as a result of this. One of them was Amber Thurman. So she died as a result of sepsis because she was not allowed to get an abortion procedure, a D&C. So now she had sepsis, and usually signs of sepsis would be addressed using a D&C to remove fetal tissue. However, the so-called Life Act prohibits the administering of an instrument with the purpose of terminating a pregnancy. Now, she had already taken an illegal abortion drug, mifepristone, okay? And her body did not expel all of the tissue. That means it basically, that's dead tissue rotting inside of your body. And that gives you an infection that if not removed, can be fatal. And that's what happened here. By the time doctors began to actually perform her D&C, she was too ill, and her heart ended up stopping during the procedure. So, now, of course, opponents of reproductive rights do blame the abortion pill. Oh, if she hadn't taken that, then she wouldn't have died. Had she gotten a DNC, she also wouldn't have died. Again, the fact is, it's not the taking the abortion pill and getting a legal abortion in another state that killed her. It's the fact that she had a medical complication, all right, related to her body not naturally eliminating the fetal material, the fetal tissue, okay, which is rare, but it does happen. In fact, according to ProPublica, out of nearly 6 million women who have taken mifepristone in the U.S. since 2000, 32 deaths were reported to the FDA through 2022. Of those, 11 patients had developed sepsis, like Amber, who, most of the cases that remained involved intentional and accidental drug overdoses, suicide, homicide, and ruptured ectopic pregnancies. A DNC would have absolutely saved her life. It's a simple procedure. However, doctors refused to do it because of this anti-abortion law. Now, there's another victim. That was 41-year-old Candy Miller. It was a Georgia woman who needed an abortion because doctors had told her that to be pregnant would be medically dangerous. It could end up killing her just going through the pregnancy. So once again, she wasn't able to get a legal abortion because of the law. And so she ended up getting that abortion through an abortion pill. Now her body, once again, retained some of that fetal tissue, which ended up giving her sepsis. So now her family told ProPublica that she did not visit a doctor due to the current legislation on pregnancies and abortions. And as such, she ended up dying as a result. Now, a state committee of maternal health experts concluded that she did not die because of the medication and that her death was absolutely preventable and that she needlessly died as a result of the state's abortion ban. So that's another example, 2 examples right there, of how the abortion ban actually kills women. So here's the thing about the so-called pro-life crowd. I don't actually care about pro-life. Okay? What it is that it's about control over a woman's sex life. Okay? It is about them being more moral, having a moral superiority, right? So, it's real easy to protect fetuses because you don't really have to do anything for them once they're born, okay? You can say, I protected your life. Now you're on your own. Well, wait a minute. They didn't ask for that. Medical care? Oh, no. No, we're not going to pay for that. Food? Hell no. Oh, can't feed them, don't breed them, they always say. How many times have you heard that? My wife's grandpa would always say, oh, why doesn't she just put an aspirin between her knees and hold it there? Well, wait, if you do that, then you're a prude. Why won't she put out? No, it's your job as a woman to be a mother. Well, what if you don't want it to? No, too bad. This country is awful to women and children, by the way. Living, breathing women and children, they're terrible too. But fetuses, suddenly, they're all obsessed with protecting fetuses. That's because fetuses never ask for anything. And look, since the end of Roe, it's actually gotten far, far worse for women, okay? It was already bad enough. Now it's worse. Now, that said, judges like McBurney and voters in places like Kansas and Michigan have made sure to protect abortion rights. But as I said before, it's still illegal in a lot of states. And as a result, it's killing people, living people, with families, loved ones. It's a lot more important to me than unborn embryos, okay? And should be more important, but like I said, they're a lot easier to protect because once you say, well, I'm pro-life, you must have that baby, once she does, your job is done. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to care about them. And in fact, you can immediately go to going after that woman for, why don't you get a job? Why do you have to be on welfare? Why do you have to take my tax money for food for that baby? Why don't you get a job? It's all about control and it's all about judgment. And again, it's real easy to sit there and be high and moral, high and mighty, you know, on your mountain of morality, when you don't actually have to do anything. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.